Chess is everyone's favorite board game. You've played it, your parents have played it, your grandparents have played it, and hell, even your great-great-great-grandparents have played it. But we just ain't talking about any type of chess. No, none of that tabletop checkers type crap. I mean video games, baby. Now, the game chess has been around for ages, around the 6th century in fact. But of course, in the digital age, a game as influential as chess had to be included. I'm sure we all remember the old My Games folder on the old Windows with Chess Titans along with Solitaire and Minesweeper. Man, what a time. But in recent years, chess has remained quite popular with chess.com and, well, just chess.com. But regular chess has gotten a little boring over the years. So I've expanded my reaches and taken a look at the games that take the concept of chess and just expand it a little bit. King of the Bridge is what I'd imagine you get if you took the base game of chess and tried to make a completely new board game with it. The aim of the game is to beat this goblin guy in a game of chess and cross the bridge, but you have to play by his rules. To win the game, you can either catch the goblin cheating, which allows you to cheat in return, or just cheat yourself and hope he doesn't catch you, but he always catches you. The rules are fairly simple for the most part. Only move your own pieces, only the horse guy can jump over pieces, you know, classic chess stuff. But there's also rules such as the bishop being able to move outside of the board. You can move the queen of the other color. If you move your castles together, they form a bigger castle, which generates some kind of scrap, and you can eat your own pieces to make them more powerful, and oh yeah, if you kill his king, another piece of his just becomes the king, so that's fun. But with this, you might be wondering, how do you beat the game then? Well, you need to take every single one of his pieces, one by one, and only then you can take his king for good. Pretty tough, right? Well, only in the beginning. You start off with an empty rulebook, and as you progress in your moves and make mistakes, it fills out little by little. It's quite a fun little system, and once you start, you have no clue what you're doing right or wrong. But once you keep playing, learning the rules, and gaining more of an upper hand, you eventually turn the stupid goblins game into your own. And I mean, if you just stick by the rules, play the goody two-shoes playstyle, eventually the goblin guy is gonna cheat in the most obvious ways, making the game much easier to understand. King of the Bridge takes a simple game like chess and makes it its own thing. In normal chess, you have to pay really close attention on your opponent's moves and look ahead to almost guess what they're going to do before they do it. But here, you have to pay even more attention and play well, because one wrong move from you or one move that you missed could spell disaster. But next, we're going to talk about 5D chess with multiversal time travel and... wait, we're not? It's actually not in the script. Oh well, next time I guess. FPS Chess is a real man's game, and it's what you'd expect with a name like that. Chess as a 1v1 first-person shooter. It starts off as regular chess for a while, you know, play your openings, start gaining some ground and board control, but once you decide to take one of the enemy pieces, it puts you into a 1v1 situation, and depending on who wins, decides who gets to take whose piece, which is a huge factor in how the actual game plays out. And of course, in order to win, you simply need to take out your opponent's king in whatever way you can. But the game keeps itself interesting with every piece's weaponry and abilities. Every single piece has its own type of weapon and 2 abilities to suit. The pawn has its semi-auto rifle with a sprint ability and can summon a pawn clone to distract the enemy. The knight has its bow and arrow with the homing arrow ability and a long-range dash. The bishop has its blunderbuss type shotgun thing and can throw a bomb and can fly as well. The rook has a sniper rifle and can grapple around and place a wall like we're playing Fortnite or something. Code its tab in the item shop, by the way. The queen has a fully automatic machine gun and can pick up other pieces to either protect herself or throw at the enemy, and she can also hover around while shooting. And finally, the king, who has a massive ass sword and can pull the enemy towards him or jump towards them for an AoE attack. And then, of course, they all have shiny versions, which just gives every piece all new ultimate weapons and abilities, which we ain't gonna talk about, it's a lot. But all of this comes together to create a really fun and unique game. Honestly, most of the normal planning and brain power that would go into a normal game of chess can be completely thrown out of the window here, as it literally just relies on sheer gaming talent now. I never thought we'd be using aim labs to train for a chess game. But this also means that if you're decent at any FPS title, yeah, it's pretty easy since there's not the usual gain ground and control the board tactics. Just rush their king as quickly as possible and the game is yours. But this is easily the coolest and goofiest way I've seen chess being adapted, or even any other board game. Huge props to the developers. And it's not like it feels clunky or is a bad game either. It's actually a really fun time waster to play with a friend, and it's also completely free. I would genuinely recommend this game. But moving on, there are a surprising amount of roguelike chess games. Not roguelike chess specifically, but this is Chess Destroyer. And for a roguelike, it's quite simple honestly. You start off with a king and 2 pawns, and your goal is to just not let your king die. The gameplay is turn-based, and as you move around, the procedurally generated board grows with each turn and spawns in new enemy pieces. Of course, all the pieces keep the same moves as regular chess, and you need to play very similarly by anticipating the enemy's moves with your own troop placements, and also placing your pieces where you think more enemies are going to spawn in, to essentially spawn kill them. And to gain more of your own pieces, you can either capture enemy pieces with your pawn, which will turn them into your own, or you can also get some by completing quests, by first getting a single kill, and then 3, then 6, 9, and so on. Now from what I played, there doesn't really seem to be a way to actually win. You just play endlessly to chase a high score or whatever, which, well, gets really boring really quick. Who knows, maybe they should add regular chess to play in between your runs. There are 2 different difficulties you can play, being piss easy and normal. But the AI is quite refined and, dare I say, pretty good at the game. At least, compared between the 2 difficulties, it's like going from peaceful to hard mode in Minecraft. There is also a Battle Royale mode, but considering it's been an alpha for years and the game is kind of dead with only 15 reviews, it's no surprise it doesn't work, but it's still a pretty cool concept for a chess roguelike. I rate it 5 rooks out of 15 horse guys. Then there's also Chess Survivors, which is a much more typical roguelike and more, how do I say it, content filled. It plays very similarly to Vampire Survivors being, well, a survivor type game, but more chess-like obviously. Before you get into the game, you get to choose what character to play, who all have different base weapons, as well as different movesets, which is very interesting. Of course, the main gameplay loop is jumping in, collecting XP drops from killing enemies, and unlocking more weapons and upgrades to further grow your power. But with the different movesets of every character, it switches up every playstyle more than you'd think. Movement here is also turn-based, but more Crypt of the Necrodancer-esque, and while playing you can pick up chess piece drops which allow you to use their movesets for a few turns, which is also very cool to see. Progressing also follows this pattern of cool factor, having you survive a certain number of turns until you move on to the next act and then repeat. But if you don't know what you're doing, the game can get quite difficult, especially once you start getting overwhelmed. Not very surprisingly, the pieces move the same as they usually would, but if you get a group of rooks spawning and then a group of bishops and then another group of knights with an elite queen, you'd better hope you chose a good build. And speaking of, the weapons aren't very unique, being very typical for this genre of game, but you have the simple AoE attacks, simple projectiles, and simple minions with simple stat upgrades that go with them on your level ups. And honestly, I don't really have much to say about this. I mean, it's Vampire Survivors with chess movement. It's going to be fun, and it's quite addicting as well. Good game. Now, I had the idea for this video all the way back in March, and I was going to make it for my April Fool's video, but I figured this could actually be a real video, since there are quite a few chess games that do really well to turn the board game into something new and fun. I really do think we need to see more stuff like this, like, come on, where's my FPS Monopoly? But, to finish off this gem of a video, let's play some chess, just you and me. And, okay, your turn. Oh, hurry up, come on. Oh, I'm getting tired here.